I am glad to see you on my channel. Support the channel by liking, subscribing, and leaving comments. It's a small effort for you, but a huge motivation for me to create new videos. Enjoy watching and stay tuned for more interesting new videos on the channel. Our architecture office had a new boss, Isabella, just a few weeks ago. She had a confident and elegant demeanor that immediately commanded respect. For example, during her first meeting with the team, she easily diffused a heated discussion between senior architects with a calm, authoritative tone, leaving everyone impressed with her composure and diplomacy. Her to detail, and the way she addressed everyone with a genuine smile, made it clear that she was a natural-born leader. Wanting to make a good impression, I decided to establish a positive rapport with her. From the summer season brought a surge of design and construction orders, and our team was loaded to the brim. I saw an opportunity to take things to the next level and offered Isabella my help to manage the workload more efficiently and ensure client satisfaction, which she readily agreed to. One Friday evening, as office hours were coming to an end, Isabella approached me with a suggestion. "Why don't we take this job to my house and finish it there?" she suggested. My wife and child were at the cottage for the weekend, and I thought I could spare a few hours to help her. The sky outside the window was gray, with thick, ominous clouds rolling across. The rain poured steadily, dripping down the windows and accumulating in the streets, adding to the gloomy mood. The chill was chilling to the bone, and the rhythmic pounding of raindrops on the roof took on an almost melancholic tone, foreshadowing the tension and unexpected twists and turns this evening would bring. My car was in for repairs, so I ordered a cab to get to Isabella's house. As we ran to the cab, the rain was pouring down and we were both shivering. Luckily, the driver turned on the heater and the warm air gradually forced the cold out of our bones. When we pulled up to her house, Isabella ushered me inside and offered to warm me up with wine before diving into work. I hesitated for a moment but agreed, figuring it would be rude to refuse. The living room was cozy, with soft lighting and a fireplace crackling in the corner. Waiting for her to return with the wine, I took off my shirt to wring out the rainwater. Turning around, I was amazed to see her standing in the doorway, dressed in a black silk robe that left nothing to be desired. The material hugged her figure, emphasizing every curve. My breath caught when our gazes met, and she smiled understandingly. Without a word, she walked over and took my hand and led me into her bedroom. "I'm married and have a son," I said, trying to bring a note of reason into the moment. But Isabella was not confused. Her gaze was intense, her eyes burning with determination, and she reached out and ran her fingers over my chest. "Your wife doesn't need to know. It can be our little secret," she whispered, her voice low and seductive. His eyes grew widened. "You promised to help me, didn't you?" she added with a teasing smile. It was clear from her tone that she had no intention of taking no for an answer. Against my better judgment, I felt myself being drawn in. The combination of her beauty, confidence, and intimacy was overwhelming. I stepped closer, placing my hands on her. Her perfume was intoxicating, combining sweetness with something more daring. The silence was broken by the sudden ringing of my heart. Jumped to my throat, and a wave of panic swept over me. I froze, staring at the device as if it might explode, and then began to frantically pick it up. My fingers trembled slightly as I pressed the answer button, and a pit formed in my stomach. Out of surprise, I stepped back and managed to mumble a greeting, hoping my voice was steady. It was my wife. She had decided to return from the cottage a day early to surprise me. Thinking quickly, I told her that my boss had kept me at work late to finish a big project. Thankfully, she believed me and wished me luck, then hung up the phone. My heart raced as I turned around to Isabella. She was waiting for me, her expression unreadable but her posture alluring. I walked up behind her, breathing in the floral scent of her hair, and put my arm around her shoulders. She flinched slightly at my touch. "Sit on the bed," I murmured, gently guiding her. She allowed herself to be pulled by my hand, and in one smooth motion was in my lap. Time seemed to slow down as we lost ourselves in the world around us seemed to cease to exist, leaving only the two of us. And yet, in the back of my mind, the thought of my wife remained, gnawing at my conscience. I could almost see her face smiling at me with the trust she had always shown, which I was now betraying. The weight of my actions pressed on my chest, making it difficult to breathe. Torn between the heady pull of the moment and the deep guilt that threatened to overwhelm me, I hesitated. My every being screamed at me to stop, to turn back, but Isabella's presence was magnetic, her allure an irresistible force drawing me further and further into the abyss. I knew I was crossing a line beyond which I could never go, but Isabella's charm was too strong. She was like a siren, impossible to resist. "By law and truth," Peterson said tightly. "The line has been broken for so long now. Safety, reliability, stability rested too high a price for payment." Isabella's presence was magnetic, her allurance too strong to be resisted. I picked her up and laid her on the bed, closing the bedroom door as a final act of surrender before the room grew warmer, the air filled with anticipation. Isabella smiled, her eyes sparkling as she reached for me, and we did something we shouldn't have done, but I guess it was my destiny to cross the line.